How's it going? Long time no see you.
Yeah, actually, I didn't find any kind of tasks in Ashana. So
Oh, okay. It's my fault. And
I think everything is online
yeah,
properly.
yeah. And actually, we have a lot of points today for discussion.
Sure.
And first of all, let me share some ideas. If you remember, we have volunteer Irshad, and
Mhm.
he actually provided us his time when he will available to check our system. And
Mhm.
right now I'm going to schedule this time in our scheduler. And what I did, I created a small procedure in scheduler here. And uh, actually I copy paste what you provide us in your first version and try to adjust it for Irshad amount of time. And what I did, actually, I get UTC time and I
Okay.
put some specific time. And
Okay.
as for now, there is a 6 and 4 p.m. Oh no, just 6
Okay.
and 20 p.m. And I put it 17. It was 5 minutes before. For example, we can do I don't know 25. After that, right now there is a 18:20. In other words, we have 5 minutes
Mhm.
before. And here is the example how I compare in two time, UTC now and time when we need to schedule the call. And
Okay.
if this time more than the UTC now, then we make asynchronous request. If not, this will not work, and this will be like a empty call of this get profile details Irshad function. And we go to our server. It's our it's our Heroku. Actually, what I do, I make this commit, just
Mhm.
make sure that we change it. Nothing to commit, and I push it to our production.
All right.
And it took 2 or 3 minutes. And what I'm expecting when the production will finish, that to my phone will go the call, because here in the table I excluded one of the field, my date of birth. And accordingly, this algorithm system automatically should call to me and ask, hey, Alex, please provide us your date of birth for the future purposes. And
Okay.
let's wait. Actually, just a second, compression, we are very close. Yeah,
Mhm.
we see that our building finished. Here we see that uh, it's restarting of the all processes, and
Yeah.
salary started, our web application started, and actually, yeah, build is finished, salary started. Here, tasks,
Mhm.
broker, loader. This is a standard message from the salary, is correct,
Yeah.
remember. And here you see our get profile details for your shot starting
Mhm.
to scheduling.
Right.
And question number one, that it's not work for now. Right now there is
Mhm.
a 6 and 23 p.m. by
Mhm.
UTC, and it doesn't work. Probably I can change it for the less. I'm not sure about the logic, but probably I missed something. It's a question number one, and in 2 minutes, I will get one call to my phone, and
Probably.
yeah, and that's it. I expected that this will be every 5 seconds, because in our salary config, I created
Mhm.
this uh, procedure for a shot that every 10 seconds, this will be a heartbeat, and this will be like ask to the system, okay, let's do it again, let's do it again, before
Yeah.
I will not put information to the system about date of birth. And actually, probably you have some ideas, or probably I don't know.
Like you mean to say this function is not working, right?
It's working, but it's working. Probably I did not completely understand how it works. Uh,
Um, See, the thing is, there is no requirement of this exact like line if time is greater than date UTC, because what exactly it is doing is, okay, first I'll calculate my UTC now. Okay.
mhm,
Okay.
okay.
And I have my time. So here, this apply async, what it will do, it will fix my call to that particular function at that specific time itself.
Oh, I got it. I got it. And
Okay.
look at this. Look at this. You see, main number
Yeah.
of BuzzNet
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and our.
Glad that you join us. To personalize your profile, we ask you to answer 2 questions.
Awesome. It
What
works.
gender do you
Yeah.
consider yourself to be?
Mail.
Save male. Thank you. What is your date of birth?
December 6th.
Save December 6th. Thank you, and have a good day.
Cool. It works. And
Yeah.
this, did I get right that this function will make this sync only once, not
Yeah.
only once, right?
Yeah.
Great,
So
great, great,
after
great. Mhm.
what it will do is it will it will schedule a task at the specific time, and at that time itself, the function will be uh, triggered. Okay.
Mhm.
So to schedule it again, this beat function should run.
Mm. In other words, I don't need this condition,
Yeah.
and this should work without this condition at all, right?
But mostly, yeah, it should work.
Okay, just a second. Before we will discuss all other things, I want to check that this works very well. And because we are humans and we can do that, our robots will do
Yeah.
all this interesting stuff. Okay,
Sure.
and let's.
Like I'm not clear about this replace function of UTC now. So if you can.
Oh yeah, I will explain a bit later. Okay, this function is very simple because I struggling to create UTC format at the specific time, but I found this way. We get UTC now, and in
Mhm.
UTC now we can change minutes, hours, and other things with this function
Uh-huh.
replace. I try I try a lot of probably here. You see, I try for a lot of, because I'm not super good in UTC and daytime. Different
Uh-huh.
variants have to get this UTC time, and this one works very well. Sorry about that for my dummy code. Anyway,
Not a problem.
yeah, it works, and actually, no questions accordingly. First thing, and we can jump to your pull request, right?
Okay.
And I realized that you provided scheduling processes uh, for this backup our data, backup our
Yeah.
data. And actually, it was a little bit surprised me, and probably I missed something. It's the reason why I put comment about this, and probably you have a little bit more context. Where is this comment? Yeah, here. And because in my head, when we shift to the PostgreSQL, we forgot about Google Spreadsheet at all.
Yeah, this comment actually, the time when I made it, like I had a discussion with Kevin, okay? So his requirement was completely different, like what I heard from you after I have built it and I have given the pull request. So the requirement that Kevin told me, it's basically like we will be currently using our Google spreadsheet, and periodically Postgres
Oh,
would
I got it.
serve as a backup kind of thing.
Okay.
So based on that, I have made it. So if we are shifting from Google spreadsheet to Postgres directly, then this doesn't work. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, no question with this. Let me merge this. And actually, next question about our OTP API call.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for your all stuff which you made for us. And as I realized, view functions, yeah, authenticate. Actually, this is a two functions which we will use, which we started use with our volunteer Erin or
Okay.
Emmanuel
Yeah.
on mobile application. And as I realized, we don't have parameters as we have, for example, here. I don't know, just a second. Where is the main? Do you remember we have some kind of, parameters inside the functions?
Yeah. That like you mean to say the routes?
Yeah, roads. Some roads has. I
Yeah.
want to show you. And there's no. Oh, here. You see, we will not have this one, right? We will have every time roads which we will set these parameters as a part of the request, right?
If you go to that file, this is not a direct connection. Like if you go to that README, it will be very clear.
Oh, API calls. We have to use URL, right?
Yeah.
Roads.
So in
This
the routes,
one.
I'll be having all the things here.
Oh, yeah. And this will be anyway. How it will work on production? For example, we have our application, right? And our mobile application will call this get OTP, right?
Right.
Inside of this, we will put phone number, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
It will be like it will not work like this, right? Just a second.
It's
Like
not a get call. Like I just forgot what exactly I have did. If you can go back to the code, it would be helpful.
You mean
So it's a post call actually I'm
it's
making.
post call.
Yeah. So I can't do it through browser. So it's a post call. So if you have Postman, it would be working. Do you have Postman?
I will do my best, Abhishek. Sorry about that. I don't have Postman.
Not
Yeah, I installed Postman and I will check all this.
but it's working fine. Actually, in the if you go to that README, the complete documentation is there. Like you come down. Yeah, this not exactly this, not this README. The different
in
README.
roads? Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry, I beg your pardon. In this README itself, come down.
Okay. Road.
Yeah. Here.
Oh yeah, validated OTP. Cool.
So,
And
so
you provide
exactly
everything which we need actually. Sorry about that.
not a problem. So if you go up
Mhm.
If you go up, you have the get API. Yeah, this is the get request, which will
Mhm.
be the method is post, and the body will be this JSON. That's it. And the response should be here. If there is any error, the error would be in this format.
Mhm. Great, great, great. Okay. In other words, we get this OTP. We put phone number as a parameter to this
Correct.
request. After that, we get the message. If this everything is good, we save this message for the 60 seconds. And after that, we
Yeah,
have 60 seconds to
validated.
call and to validate this through this new method, validate OTP, and check that everything is good. And if not good, we will get this 403 error.
Like that depends upon what exactly the error is, but the keys are same, like error, exit code, message status. This would be the format
Mhm,
of the
mhm.
return response. That's it.
Okay, awesome. And actually, I got a call
Yeah.
on from our production. Everything is good. And
Yeah.
for our volunteers, I wanna. I remember that you asked, does this system work on production?
Save to remember to tell assistant work on production. Thank you. What is your date of
Oh,
birth?
she recognized about my horse recognition. Okay, this is a super fantastic world with all this technology. Okay,
Absolutely.
and we finish with pull request. We finish with OTP. One more thing which I gonna ask you about outside number. Did I get right that it's not a problem to use, for example, India phone number from India to check, or from Africa, from Asia? It doesn't matter, right?
No, it doesn't matter. Like as long as this underlying technology which is used by this validate is Twilio. So
Mm-hmm.
if your Twilio account is able to access, there's no problem. Actually, there is no problem if you are doing messaging throughout the globe. If you are
Mm-hmm.
doing calling, then you have to enable certain things. But for OTP and other services, Twilio can support everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And on production, we use our Twilio account, I mean, which registered. And actually, online, we will get this check-in of this phone number.
Yeah.
And actually, we will not use this phone number for the SMS or whatever. And there are no dependency on the country use of this functionality, right?
No, like Twilio will, if you have a trial account, then Twilio will modify the message. If you don't have a trial account, then you can have your custom messages, and you also get a chance to choose the number itself from whom the OTP will be sent.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that plus sign should be there, or else Twilio doesn't accept it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in other words, this phone number should be included in Twilio, how to say it, whitelist of the numbers, right?
Yeah, if you are in a trial account.
Okay, and if we are talking about our volunteer Aaron, and actually, if he has a own Twilio account, it's not a problem. And if he will use our production server, it's not a problem too, because he will able to use uh, validated number. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
like
about
there
validated
is no
number.
problem.
Mhm,
Actually, there is no problem. The thing is, if you have a uh, like not a proper account, like if you have paid account actually, then you
mhm,
have got all the functionalities. And if you have a trial account, then obviously you have to add those numbers to verified list to send the SMS, or else the SMS would not go.
Oh,
That's a blocker from Twilio itself.
oh,
It's nothing
probably
from the.
let me summarize. For example, if this will be Indian number, and we will our system will check, and function which you created will check this phone number, it's generated OTP. After that,
Yeah.
we will send send SMS message, right, to the phone
Yeah.
number. But the only one condition that this will work properly, just a second, and that from the Twilio service. Oh, Twilio don't want give me the access. Just a second. I want to show the picture how it looks in Twilio. It's strange. Our contribution is over, you know. Twilio blocked our organization.
Those passwords sometimes it doesn't work. Like
Yeah, and actually from the second time, and they definitely need to work with the quality assurance engineer, or maybe with brilliant engineers from our community.
that's true.
Okay, and right now we are in Twilio, and only one condition for the check-in, it should be here probably, that this number should be in the whitelist, or in other words, it
Yeah.
should be like verified,
Verified
trusted.
caller IDs.
Yeah, verified.
Yeah. So these numbers can be anywhere in the globe. That doesn't matter for an OTP. Yeah.
Okay. I want to show this picture, and we will jump to the next topic. Yeah,
Sure.
here I will put a number of our volunteers here, and this magic will work. And in the
Yeah.
future, we will have phone numbers of our patients. And one of the problem, we don't have a function to automatically put patient numbers here. Probably
To
this
the
is a
verified caller IDs. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
so,
only
so
now
like
understand this.
so this Twilio account is trial account, right?
No, this is a paid account. We paid for this, and because this is a main production account.
So so if this is a production account and it's not trial, okay,
Yeah,
you
it's not
have a
trial.
credit card details and everything is updated here, then absolutely there would be no problem. Like we don't have to do it in the verified list and all. It should be able to send OTP.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to create one more task about automatically adding phone number. Phone number, and after the sign-in process to the
Yeah.
Twilio account. Or at least for the first time, we will do it manually. No problem with this. Okay, and we discuss your pull request, OTP for outside, no problem with this. And right now we have two things for discussing.
Yeah.
Do you remember that we gonna right now we have this Heroku, and we discuss about implementing two applications inside one.
Yeah.
And
Like
I remember that we have two options. One of them, it was your suggestion that we can actually through inside of the web application have a two instance.
yeah.
One for Celery, another for the Flask application, right?
That's exactly a workaround. What I was suggesting is I will spawn two processes,
Oh, two
and those two
processes. Yeah,
processes
yeah.
will handle differently.
And
The other approach, you were telling that you would be having another Heroku instance so that you can get more two processes. So,
uh,
uh, so is there any blocker with current approach? Like, are we facing any blocker for that?
it's not blocker. It's only to optimize in our current Heroku. You see here, it's our 1, 2, 3, and I want to change it that we will have two of them?
1, 2.
1, 2. Yeah. Okay. Can I create separate task for you about this?
Yeah, like it probably what I was suggesting is this beat and worker, both the things are being run by different processes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like I don't know it will work or not, but what I was going to do is from system it will spawn only one file, but that file will split into 2 processes inside.
Okay. Anyway, I will make a task and let's try this approach. We'll see how this will work.
I'm not
Okay.
sure if Heroku is smart to like find out this hack. If it finds out, then again it will block.
After that, they will back to us and give us opportunity to work as a full-time. Guys, that don't share this secret for everyone. Joke. Okay, and next one, and this is idea which happens for me after the new structure of the application. And actually, where is our? Oh, sorry, sharing, and just a second. Oh, here. Probably this is a crazy idea, and I'm curious about your thoughts.
Sure.
Because many volunteers joined to our community, and as I realized what they're struggling with, because they sometimes they're only beginners, sometimes they don't have a lot of time, and what they struggling actually they're struggling with setting up this local environment because they don't have a Twilio, they don't have Google credentials, they don't a lot of things, and sometimes it takes because they don't have a chance to spend every day by 8 hours, and sometimes it took a lot of time to set up this local environment, and sometimes it's not obvious, but when you do it every day as a developer, it's there are no questions how to do it. And I have idea. Is it possible to? In my head, this will be too much in code. Put to the code a lot of exceptions, but the idea is pretty simple. Can we make structure of the code that we download the source code, right? Open it in some IDE, or maybe build it, and without any questions, server will build. For sure, this will not, for example, it will not work database. It will not work, I don't know, spreadsheets. It will not work something else, Flask application, authentication, but it will build it. Build it as a not working application. Why I'm asking about this? Because in my head, typical volunteer, how it works. Okay, he get it or she get it code, build it, and make small function. For example, API call. We don't talk about mature volunteers who made a task scheduler and other things. It's another story. No, I am talking about beginners and juniors who are not familiar with all this stuff. And the idea is to make them life easier, that they build, and probably they will not have Twilio account. Okay, but if they will able to provide this API call, and our server should only make them to check that everything is good. What do you think about this? Is it possible?
Is it possible or not? It's a different realm. Like with what is possible or not, you have to push to the limits to know what is possible.
About resources, every time it's question about time and resources, and
Yeah, but this is like it seems possible. Like I can think some ways. We have to do it for Windows, we have to do it for Mac, we have to do it for Linux, because every environment is different and every environment has its own Python setups. So
Oh,
so
I got it.
that
Yeah, one of the problems that we will have different operational system
so
because
one thing I was thinking is it will be a good thing, like the README that we have, we can have another setup.md. So anyone who will click the setup.md, most of the time you will be going into any website to install a package, and there will be a lot of instructions for Mac, a lot of instructions for Windows. Just copy paste, and copy paste, and everything will be done. So we can create something like that. And yeah, if it is a Linux, it is very easy. We can create little scripts. That script will do everything. That guy has to do nothing. And if it is Windows, there would be a little bit of challenge. We can create a PowerShell script, but again, if that guy is not using PowerShell, that guy will face a lot of problem in
mm-hmm,
that. But yeah, we can include a little bit of information. But if they download and they open the zip file and everything will be done, then it's a virus.
mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure, I described ideal solution, downloaded file and open it and it's built it. But probably we can decrease, not resolve all problems, but maybe decrease majority of them.
Yeah.
Uh,
So one question I have: what exactly are the problems they are facing? Because first, if Google Spreadsheet is required, it needs external things, external keys, tokens, and everything. So
yeah.
we don't want that. If Twilio is required, then Twilio account we need. And again, wherever there's an access token or any kind of password involved from an environment, those
Mm-hmm,
things we cannot include. Apart from that, if anything is there, that can be managed.
mm-hmm. Let me show what actually they do. Oh, environment. Actually, we have a file for this. Okay, let me open some of the Asana. I'm open actually port, and we have a file for setting up local environment. And they need Google spreadsheets, they need a Twilio account, they need a Python search, Google credentials. Just a second. Actually, here we have this file.
Okay.
And let's try to imagine that right now, yeah, in our MVP, we have a small tasks, and for me, it's easy task about API call. Prepare some, API call. And for
Okay.
this purpose, they don't need, in my personal opinion, they don't need, I don't know, knowledge about Twilio, knowledge about Flask in deep details. They can copy paste current existing API call, adjust it, change, and that's it. But for this simple task, they have install some EDM. Usually they have some use Emacs or Vim, whatever it's interesting.
Yeah.
And after that, they have install all packages. Sometimes it's not obvious, and in our requirements file right now we have a lot of packages, and
Correct.
it's a pandas, it's a, I don't know, many packages. Sometimes they don't use them in terms of resolving the task. PostgreSQL branch, this one more questionable too, because sometimes they don't, as for Kevin, he deep dive in the PostgreSQL development, but for others they only do maybe some easy job. It's not. As for Twilio, so sometimes they need, sometimes they don't need. And I mean these credentials when we will put for me, some tasks it's not required Twilio account at all. You can do it in terms of mathematics, in terms of algorithm. And this is a tricky one. We have a setup for Google API, and actually this is a um, black box in terms of you have 4 steps, and each of the step it's a lot of description what you need to do. This one, and this is a getting JSON file for credentials for using API for the Python. And the idea to, for sure, it's easy. It's easy thing, but for the first view, sometimes they struggling. And the idea is to simplify everything is possible, which is possible, not absolutely all, but which is possible. That they probably have a unworked some functionality of the application, but they have a very easy built server. And when you mentioned about PowerShell and scripts, you mentioned about installing packages automatically, or you mentioned something else. And
like most of the tasks which they would be doing manually, that can be installed or done via those shell scripts, basically shell or PowerShell scripts. So, but one thing, see, creating a Google account, that's something which a user has to be there.
Oh, in other words, there are no way how to work around this.
Yeah,
one,
because
right?
that is something specific to that user. He has to get involved. There is also one, I'm not a robot.
yeah. I'm not a robot. Yeah. Remember this. Check. Finally check.
So those kind of tasks cannot be done, and absolutely that credentialization they have to download it themselves because they would be knowing their own password. I can't hard code anything.
Okay.
So that's something. See, again, if they have to feed their password to my script, then 100% they have already created it. There's no point of that script. So, but yeah, installation, building of some basic stuff can be done via scripts, but not exactly Twilio and Google APIs. As per me.
In other words, what we can help to our volunteers only automate this process. But
installing any IDs if they want, first of all. Setting up a virtual environment, that is very important. Most of the people doesn't do it because whenever they actually do this requirement.txt, everything gets loaded into their own Python installation. Okay. So they have to create a virtual environment so that whenever they don't want that project, they'll just delete it. So it will not be lingering around in their own package. So virtual environment is very important. So they have to create that. So that can be managed by a script. Installation to the virtual environment can also be done.
Actually, for this particular task, PyCharm provided very nice solution. When you open first time the project, it automatically find these requirements txt and install packages here without your attention, and you only see the progress bar that all packages one by one install into your virtual environment.
Right.
Okay, let me summarize. In other words, there are a lot of room for improvement in terms of setting up environment, because actually only one things we can do this, but anyway, I believe that juniors are not using Vim or Emacs as a mature Linux developers, and they use some IDE, and I believe that Visual Studio and PyCharm handle this by default, and it's not necessary to provide.
Visual Studio Code doesn't handle that, but VS Code, if they're using VS Code, it doesn't do that, but PyCharm does it.
Okay. And thank you for this. Actually, all our today agenda finished, and you answer for all questions. And thank you so much for your effort to our community. And I believe that when everyone will see this video, they will back to you to say thank you, or maybe ask you some more additional questions. Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
Yeah, and
Like,
maybe
it's also a
some
great
things.
opportunity to tell.
Yeah, maybe some things which you want to discuss right now.
Yeah, like apart from this, we were discussing on that fast API and Flask thing for a web application and web server. So, like any work progress on that, or any thoughts anybody has given, so that
Not
we can
yet.
at least start something.
Not yet. As for Flask API, and actually, I missed my ticket. I remember that I should to give you the name of this folk, right? Who work with Fast API. It's what we agree last time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Fast API. Find the person.
Fast API is fine. Like, do you want to render any pages or something like that? Are we rendering any pages from backend, or everything is in like
When
how
when
backend
you
and front
mention rendering, you mean about web application?
web application? Yeah.
As for web
Or we
application,
are just having our backend as a API, like REST API endpoints.
yeah, right now we use our backend for the mobile application and for .NET application.
Okay. Mostly it's a
I
REST.
believe that we will use. We started, and there are some questions for the OTP and other things. But anyway, I believe that we will use. We don't have some web application on React, on whatever, but I believe that in the future it will be. I'm not sure. Did you have a chance to check our videos on YouTube channel? No.
Pardon me for that.
Yeah. In short, what we agreed that in September we will start only with the IVR, voice
Okay.
recognition, and we will put marketing to this, and we'll start with this phone call system. And when we will have finished MVP scope for the mobile application, we will start with mobile application. When we will finish with web application, we will start web application as a two product which will help for the IVR work better. As for now, not too much update and not too much to show in terms of value for the user from mobile and web application. But anyway, for sure we will use Fast API. And could you remind me in terms of architecture structure, what your thoughts was on Fast API? We will have Python server, which will handle calls, right? It will be the first part, and second part will be one more server, and this will be Fast API, right? This will provide all.
Fast API, Flask, anything is fine. Not a problem.
They not equal, right? Fast API and Flask.
Fast API or Flask, anything is fine. They're not equal, but Flask is also capable of handling a lot of backend stuff and the data. So.
Okay, actually, we have to document this our vision and structure of the where the Fast API that to share
like
with everyone.
whatever makes us go fast, like fast, not in the meaning of performance, build time. So whatever is fast, we can use it. Like both the frameworks are very good. Fast API is very newbie kind of thing. Like it's new in the market. We can use that, but in the same time, we can use Flask as well if you don't have a huge server request. So maybe we don't have a huge server request for the time being. Like huge means a very huge. Like it's thousands of requests per second. We will not be having currently that much call. So
what are the advantages of Fast API in comparing with the Flask?
See, there is one basic advantage which I can which whatever I have seen till now is Flask basically work on WSGI. In Flask,
Oh, yeah,
obviously,
I
means,
remember you shared
yeah,
about this proxy.
it's not asynchronous. Yeah, in Flask 2.0, it is asynchronous, but again, every asynchronous calls are being handled by a single thread. So again, it's the thread-based thing. So kind of, but if you are going to fast API, then it is asynchronous. But one thing to notice, if a person who is writing a code in fast API, if that person doesn't use that feature of asynchronous thing, it will again behave like a Flask.
Oh,
So
automatically,
that,
right?
yeah, so that developers should have that much authentic way of writing asynchronous code in itself. So if they're just defining it in the same way, it will be again whiskey. Like
Mm.
underlying middleware, you have to use some kind of, like in Flask we are using gunicorn and all, so we can use uvcorn for fast API. It is a asynchronous middleware server kind of thing. So yeah, we can use that, but again, our code should be able to process asynchronous things as well. So
Okay, I will try to find the volunteer name who suggested this fast API stuff, and I asked him about providing his code. Probably he did not answer. I will try to email him directly, and I believe that he will answer for this.
like one thing I would suggest from my side, if you are going for Flask, I guess most of the people are familiar with Flask, so the development time would be very fast.
Yeah, frankly speaking, when I work with I personally work with a Flask. Actually, for me, as I'm not before I work on Django, and I develop on Django. And actually, in terms of framework for the voice recognition, it's not too much from specific of Flask. Only you have to this decorator, and that's it. And import a Flask in the beginning of the application. That's it. And we don't use some super specific for the Flask. But for sure, if we will have backend as a backend server for the mobile application, for the web application, for sure, all features of the Flask or Fast API will be very, very, very attractive, and we should to rethink about what the framework will be better. But right now, it's really easy because you see here,
like
we don't
Flask,
use,
actually, the thing is, no, Django, if you are going for a big e-commerce website, we have a lot of pages to render, we have a lot of services and all those things, we have a lot of small apps. Then Django is a very bulky framework which gives out of the box a lot of things to us. But if we have just one function, one kind of thought in mind, like serving a REST API call, that's it. Going into the database, collecting something, giving it to the front end application. If that the structure we have, I think Flask is the best way to do that, because
okay.
Django, to set it up, we have a lot of overhead. And one thing Django is familiar, that migration, database migrations and all.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
that also we can do it in Flask as well. There are a lot of extensions available in Flask that also help us to do it. I think Kevin actually gave me this suggestion. I went through some
Yeah.
migration things on Flask, but yeah, Flask has a lot of stuff in that as well.
And this
So
model pandas, right? This is one of the extension, no? About
yeah,
migration.
migration, yeah, exactly. In Flask we have
Before I never heard about these pandas, but thank you for Kevin. Right now I know this. Yeah.
pandas is basically a data framing kind of thing. Like if you have a CSV file, or if you have a JSON file, or if we have any kind of structured serialized file or data, we can project it in a row column kind of object.
Okay.
So
Okay.
which is called data frame, and we can just process it after that. Like it would be very easy for us. Like we can run queries and all those kind of stuff. Not exactly queries; those are panda specific things. So it
Okay.
will be like a row and column things.
Abhishek, thank you so much for your time. Sorry that this call will be a little bit longer. Thank you for your flexibility, because right now this is a deep night in your
Yeah,
place, and
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you have something for me, then you can just let me know.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Will do my best, and see you next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same here. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye.